So in this class, we'll continue from the last data view session where we left. Okay, so today what I'm planning to have a few topics. So for example, in data view, we'll see how we can log, because by default data view won't log anything. Okay, so first we'll try to see logging. We'll see how to access. Okay, so access external services like REST API, SOAP API. Okay, all those things we'll see that. Now we'll see within a project if I have a file. Okay, how to access that. So access files from project. Files from project. Then we'll see if I have a Java code. Okay, in my project. Okay, how to access Java code. So Java code. I'll say access or execution. Right. Within a project, if I have Java code, custom Java code, how to access that. Then we'll try to see, within Dataweave, if there is a exception, right? How to handle that. So we'll see exception handling within a Dataweave. Okay. And I have few POCs to show you as we discussed yesterday. So we'll talk about those POCs. So in exception handling, we'll see few scenario with a try, and then I'll talk about some special characters, how to handle them. If you don't handle them right, they will throw error. So special characters within a script, how to handle them. Okay, so this is what I have planned for today.
Okay.
So let's start with our first thing. Okay, so let me bring my studio. Okay, so we have created separate project for that. So let me bring the project. We'll keep on adding stuff over here. Okay, and then finally I'll share this with you. Okay, so let's start with the first stuff, which is our we'll say how to log it. Okay, so if I wanted to say so let's drag the transform activity, simple activity over here. Okay, and if you want to run that, right, so we need to say instead of running, what will I'll do, let it load. So we'll follow this ordering. Okay, so we'll go one by one. Okay, so let it load. It's loading. Okay, done. Okay, so now if I want to log something over here, so let's go ahead and say I'm writing some script. Okay, so we don't need this. So directly I'll say JSON, and then in my object I'll say message colon. So I can use a function called log. This is also coming from the core, core package, DW core. Okay, now here whatever I'll write, okay, so it takes the input. So either you can read it from attributes, you can read it from payload, or even you can hard code. So the log function will log it in the console, and the same string will be passed on as a value of that key. So for example, here see, I am doing data view logging. Okay, so what will happen? The same thing. If you see the preview, you won't be able to see any change in the script. If I write same code, okay, so have a look at it. It's generating the preview. So if you look at, if I say comma, and if I say copy this, Control C and enter, Control V, there won't be any difference in output between these two guys. No difference, okay? But when I say log, it will log this string in a console. So for debugging point of view, it will be very helpful to see if I'm calling some external service and I wanted to see that what is the output coming from that external service. Or what output I have received from the input. Okay, so I got an input payload, a specific field I wanted to see, right? For example, here I can say, hey, what I have received from the payload. So payload dot a specific field, I can go ahead and try to see here. Okay, so if you want to see the console log, what we'll do, we'll add, so I'll just give a name here so that it will be properly. Okay, so instead of DW logging. Okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll add a scheduler so that we can go ahead and look at this, how it's logging. Okay. Save this. And we'll say debug. So you'll be able to see that message. We have seen the output already. There is no difference between those two statements. Even if I use with logger, even if I don't use with logger, same output, right?
Yes.
This function will be very useful when you want to debug, right? In debugging, this kind of functions will be very useful because by default, data won't log anything.
Okay.
Okay, so let it deploy. Okay, so let it deploy. We'll jump on to the second point of our discussion. So if I drag a transform activity and I'll give a name to this guy. So I'll say call external service. Okay, external call external service. Okay, so I'll just say let's look at the, we put a breakpoint here, and if you look at the console, it's not yet deployed. Let's wait for that. Okay, so you can see that it stopped here now. Let's look at the console. We'll say debugger, and first let's clean the console. Clean debugger, next activity. Okay, if I go to the console now, have a look at it. See, I am doing DW logging. And output, there is no effect on output, no change in output.
Okay.
Clear? Okay. So we can go ahead and pause this scheduler over here. Stop the scheduler. Okay. Now, the second point is, let's go ahead and I have API. Let me show you. So we have API request.in. This is the API. Okay, my favorite. Okay, it's publicly available. Data from this API is not associated with any entity in the world. Okay,
Okay.
All dummy data just for testing point of view. Okay, so if you see single user, go ahead. So this is the URL which gives this data. So how can I access this API inside my studio itself? Okay, so let's go ahead and say JSON, and we have function called, so I'll say ID colon 2 comma details colon. So we have function called read, and read function can invoke any URL. So I'll go ahead and say you need to pass that in double quote, and you can see it from here itself. Okay, so if I say preview now, I change the perspective. Control C. Let's look at the Dataweave Playground. Control A, Control V. Read URL. Okay, so you can see the signature of the function. It says that, hey, give me the URL and tell me what kind of content you want to read it from here. So I say application slash JSON. Read URL. Are you able to see any issue with this? Details, read URL. Read URL includes class path, based URL, returns a past content. Okay. Read. Okay. There's something changed. Let me see now. Okay, so it should give me output properly. It shows that there is a issue with this exception handling. Okay, I'll go with HTTP. Let's see what happens. There is no preview to be shown. It should come up. Okay, anyway, I'll look into it. Okay, why this read is not, because there are read function. Okay, I need to check the signature of this. Let's come back. Okay, it should give me output. And okay, so let me try only with this. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so if I go with full URL, no, this is the only syntax we have. Okay, so let me show you the signature also. If you see the read URL, it takes, oh, they have stopped now. They're only giving access to the files which are there in the application. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, let me give one more try. If I give this the bind type here, because it's for this skip characters, I think it's creating some issue because if you see the clearly, the last double quotes is not able to recognize properly.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
This is a new change, I guess, because as per my syntax, this is the correct one. Okay. So if I say application /JSON,
Mhm.
we generally give this for files, not for the API calls.
Okay.
Okay. So this is not working. So let me check. Okay. So if I go ahead and now, if I have a external file over here, let's say in my code, if I go to my main resources, let's say I have some file over here. Okay. And I want to read that file inside my data view. So if I go ahead and say, hey boss, give me that file. If I go ahead and say read URL and read URL, inside that, I need to say, where is my file? So we need to give a class path. Okay, so in double code, I'll say class path ://. Okay, and then we'll say the file name. So because this source main resources is a direct class path. Okay, so I can say country underscore codes dot CSV. Directly I can say that. Okay, country underscore codes dot CSV. And then what type of data it has, I need to say that. Okay, so in double quotes, I'll say application, it has a data CSV. Okay. Let me close this, and because this code, I cannot run it from the Dataweave Playground. So save everything. If I go back here, okay, if I say preview, what is going wrong? And country code, unable to find the resource. So what, did I make a mistake? Country underscore codes.csv. The file is there. Class path ://country.csv. If I say refactor, rename, is it issue with the No, something has changed. So if you see the URL, I am giving my file name where it's located, okay? So if you read it properly, simply we need, okay, this is it? No, this is the correct syntax. Okay, let's quickly see, read URL in Mule4 documentation. So URL string and the content type. That's it. Right? For example, if you see here, class path, myfolder.txt, if I go to DW, Control A, Control V, no, something is really wrong. I have to see that. So Control A, Control V. Yeah, it's generating now. So what did we do wrong here? It's coming, right? Same thing we did it. Remember? So this is the URL. If I give some other regress.in slash API slash users slash 2. Yeah, I think the something is wrong with the URL. Okay. Our syntax was correct only. See now? Okay. Let's talk about the same URL. Control C and Control V. Now instead of this guy, what we'll do, we'll try to give under examples. Let's try to do that. So under examples class, okay, so let's now, we got the bigger screen, class path, okay, colon slash slash. Now I have examples folder. Under that we have file called employee.xml. Okay, so we have employee.xml, and the data inside that we have is XML. Okay, so let me see the documentation again. So we'll get this output. Okay, so this is the upgrade in 2.4. Okay, so I cannot read that here inside my body now. Okay, so let's have a look at it now. This style, we'll try it in our message is equal to, no, it's not working. So home should end. Kunal, are you following me?
Yes.
Control B. Now, if you look at, so I say message is equal to read this, okay, and there I have a XML, and let's go ahead and here also I'll say XML, okay, and we'll okay, now I'll try to print. message. Okay. Unable to find examples, employee. Am I doing something wrong? No. Yes, man. These these files are there in this project. We keep on doing mistake. Okay, and we are writing code under this project. Definitely there is no file, something called employee. Hey, come on. Okay, so let me copy this file, employee. Let me copy the folder itself. Copy, and if I put it here, wow, that's great. Okay. So we have examples folders now, and we have employee.xml file there. And now I'll go ahead, go to some other transform and come back to this transform now. Now under examples, I should be getting output. Yeah, see? So I was looking at something is what is going wrong? What is going wrong? Okay, so now we are able to see the URL output also. Okay. And so we are able to read the external service. So we need to open and close one more time. Okay, so then you will be able to see the output. So if I go to other transform and come back to that transform, and now you'll be able to show me the JSON data for that external service. Okay.
So what you have written at the end, so to convert into JSON, you have given that application/JSON, right?
I am explicitly telling that, okay, what this URL will be returning to me. Okay, the syntax is very simple. Read URL will read this either external service or something from the class path. Okay.
Okay.
And what data that URL or that file is returning to me, I need to tell here.
Okay.
Okay, so once you get the data, then you can go ahead and catch in the variable. Okay.
So output, you are saying that I need that in XML, but this URL is giving me the data in JSON, or this class path is giving me the data in XML, right?
Yeah, this class path is giving me data in XML that I need to tell to this function.
Okay.
Hey, the data input data will be coming in XML. Go ahead and catch it.
Pass this. Okay.
Okay. Then now again, this URL will keep it. So if we go ahead and put it here. Okay, so I can say var user equal to control V. Now if I go ahead here and if I say instead of message, if I say user, I'll just comment this part. I'm trying to convert that into XML, which is wrong. Okay, so now you're able to see proper data. Now, if you want that data in XML format, because we are getting data in JSON format where there is no root, right? So I can say user : user, it will give proper data. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to give the user root tag, because if I go with the JSON, right, the JSON, whatever output I'm getting in the user variable, that variable content was not having root tag, and XML always need a root tag. Okay. Go look at it. That guy was not having root tag. If I go back and look at the JSON output, so we need to be very careful what data we're converting to XML. Okay. CSV data as it is, you cannot convert into XML because CSV data will be having only array of records.
Okay.
An array of records you cannot represent in XML. You need to have those array of records inside some tag. And that tag is nothing but the root tag. Okay, so you need to properly give hierarchy over there. If I go with the user, right, it's saying that, hey, this is JSON, right? Now, if I simply say this JSON, I try to convert into XML, it's looking for, hey, give me some root tag, then I can convert it. These are the record only. So user ID, this title and body, this is just a record. I need to represent by tags, right? So inside some tag, give me that. So I'll say, hey, go ahead and do this. Okay, so maybe you can say, since I can have multiple users inside the user tag, I can go ahead and say users colon, and I'll say, hey, go ahead and instead of JSON, now you can convert into XML. Okay. So both the things are solved now. We are able to access the external service. We are able to access the files from our class path.
Okay, and if we keep this users colon user in JSON, still it will give the same output, right?
Yeah, JSON won't be having any issue. JSON can represent any data. Okay, whether it's array data, CSV data, or anything. Okay, but XML has a restrictions. XML should have a root tag.
So if we keep like practice like this to pass users colon like that, so I think that will be the best practice, I think.
Yes, in XML it's the best practice. Otherwise, your code, first of all, not even best practice. If you don't give root tag, it's not going to work.
So users our root tag and user is our data
record,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we have in user, we have multiple tags, right? So this tags has to be some other tags, right? So that's what we are doing here. We are saying here, under users, you have user information. Okay.
So,
okay.
One more thing. There is like user ID 1 and then ID 1. Why there are two different?
Okay, so the data is like that. Okay, so if you see the user data is like that. That's the reason we are getting. We are not changing anything over here.
Okay.
So data is coming from there. So if you look at the JSON, right? So if you look at the JSON, so we have user ID as well as ID. Right?
Okay.
The content.
Continue. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's have a look. So we have seen a read URL. We have seen the log. So we can log something from the data view. We can access something from external world. We can access something from our class path by using a read URL function. Now I have one more function. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's keep this guy separate. Now let's say somebody. So this guy was giving me, if I go here, right, it's giving me a JSON. Okay, so this is there in the variable. Now what I can say, hey, go ahead and read that. So let's say, let me drag some other transform. Okay. So now here, let me put it, this XML which we are generating in the previous, this XML we were generating, right? If I go ahead and XML here. So this guy is giving me XML, okay? This part. Yes. And if I get this content as a string, right, where it's XML here, and somebody is giving me that data as a XML content, I'll say, and I'm getting it as a string. For example, double quotes, control V. So somebody is giving me that data in string. Now this is actually a string, right? Correct?
Yes.
So how I'll read this data? If I then I'll use a function called, I say, I'll just remove this tags. I have a function called read. Okay, a read function will ask me, hey, give me that string, whatever string you have. So I have a string called XML content, and I'll say, hey, can you convert this string into a whatever data format I'm looking for. So I'll say application slash XML. I want to treat this string as a XML. Okay, so let's look at the preview. See, here we are able to clearly convert that content into XML. Sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes some XML will be embedded in some field value, right? I want to treat that value as a XML. You're getting my point? Sometimes you'll get a data in a field value. This is how you're getting data. But this will consider, by default, will be considered as string only. Now, if I print, let's say if I don't call read function, and if I go and simply say XML content, first of all, we are getting some issues. So if I go, let me go back and let me come back. If I say preview, okay, I won't be able to read first of all that data. Okay, clear? So I have to treat that data in a proper format. So we have a function called read, and that will read that data properly. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go back and have a look at some,
So is there any dictionary to check these functions? What
yeah,
functions are available?
yeah, we have. So if I go to Dataweave, right? See here, the documentation itself. See what is there in D core. We are talking about right now core library only, right? So you can go ahead, Dataweave reference. You'll find all the operators here. You'll find all the functions over here. See here.
Okay.
Each library, what all functions are there. Okay. Now Dataweave 2.4 added a lot of functions. Okay. They added a lot of functions in date. They added a lot of functions in string and arrays. Okay. 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 So let's come back to the let me recap. So we are able to now convert some string into a specified data type. Okay. Now I was talking about one scenario which I didn't mention in my list over here. Okay, which I didn't mention here. Let me quickly add that. So we have seen this. We have done with this. We have done with this. Okay. Now we'll see these things. Plus, if I have flow in my application, I want to access from Dataweave. So this flow, which I'm trying to access from Dataweave, it has to be a flow or private flow. And we know the proper difference between flow and private flow. I won't be able to call subflow from my Dataweave. Okay. So let's have a look at it quickly, how to access, and then we'll jump onto the Java code. Okay. And then we'll see exception handling. So now let's create a simple flow here. Okay. So now I'll go back, save everything. Okay. Here. So I'll rename properly these guys so that this is read URL. Okay. This one is just a read. Okay. Now I'll drag a transform activity here. Okay. Now this DW read, right? This DW read is a private flow. Why? It doesn't have source activity. It has error handling. And if I go with the subflow, that subflow won't be having section itself. If I go ahead and drag it, so this is see, there is no source section, there is no error handling.
Yep.
Okay, so this DW-read, I will be able to trigger it from my Dataweave code, but I won't be able to trigger it this subflow from my Dataweave code. That's what we are going to see quickly, because this will be needed in actual programming when I wanted to perform some operation on my field. Let's say, for example, I'm reading account ID from the database, and I want to check whether that account ID is still active or not. Then only I'll proceed. Okay, so I'll go ahead and on that field, I'll call this Dataweave flow. It will check whether that account ID is valid or not. And then this flow will return me whether it's active or inactive.
Okay.
Let's do that. So what function we have? So for example, I'll go ahead and I'll do this. So I have two flows now, okay? So I'll just give this name, DW hyphen subflow. Subflow, okay? And under the subflow, we'll add set payload. And inside the set payload, payload plus plus, I'll add something to my incoming payloads, okay? Hello world. Okay, so I'll try that here. And this guy is giving me some XML output. Okay, so let's try to that. So we'll give a name to this guy. So for that, we need to run actually, because in preview, we won't be able to invoke the flows. So I'll just keep, I'll just delete this guy. And oh, what I'm writing here, nothing. I'll just rename this guy. Invoke flow. Okay. Okay, so we'll be able to see. So here, what I'll do, I'll say, hey, I'm going to trigger a flow. So I'll just say XML. First time we'll go with the XML. Okay. Or what we'll do, we'll go with the JSON only. Now, to invoke the flow, we have something called lookup function. Okay, lookup function. And if you see the signature of the lookup function, what it does, it takes two arguments. Okay, one is a string that will be your flow name. So first one will be your flow name. Okay, so what is the flow name? We have DW hyphen read, right? This is the flow name. And then at the end, we have, I don't want to pass anything. Okay, simply. And then after this, what I'll do, I'll log it. So we can see that what output we are getting. So I'll just log after this. And we'll add.
You have put in invoke flow or read flow?
Yeah, in the invoke flow, we'll invoke this flow. This guy will return me XML. Okay. and I'm trying to convert that into JSON, and I'll be logging it here. Okay, so I'll simply go ahead and say log payload. Hope you got the clarity. And to invoke this flow, we need to invoke this flow. Okay, we need to run this flow, otherwise it won't auto, in previous sections we can't do that. Okay, so that's a limitation we have in the preview. So I'll go ahead and put it a scheduler here. Okay, save everything, and I'll say go ahead and debug. Hope you are getting what I'm trying. Okay, so I'm trying the things which are really needed in our daily work. Okay, client work. After this, we'll see if I have a Java custom code in my project. Okay, how to invoke that from our data view.
Okay.
So let's change the perspective. So let me put the breakpoint, add breakpoint, add breakpoint, add breakpoint. Okay, let's wait for the console. Okay, so deployed. It's waiting over here. Let's say next activity. It's going here, see? Right? Next activity, if I say, so exception, what happens? Class lang dw read. What is the payload we are getting? We are getting null payload. Is this right? We are. So this should be a payload. Read. Expression we're executing this as a number. It's limited out of milliseconds. Yeah, so actually, it has some waiting time. Okay, so we wait, we went there and stopped, right? That's the reason.
Yes.
We got error. Now you see, we got XML from here, but that XML got converted into JSON, and then we got the output here. If I say next activity, and if I look at the logger, you'll be able to see proper output here.
It's in JSON, right?
See, right? But this guy gives me a XML output, right? You remember? Guy returns me XML, and that XML automatically converted into a JSON. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and now try to invoke this guy. So what we'll do, we'll say stop scheduler. Okay, go here and say next, next, next. It's not going to, still it's triggering. I said stop. Okay, so now what is the name of this flow? So I have a DW subflow now. Am I right? Subflow. And now from here, I'm passing a string hello. Okay, and space. You remember what we are doing here? We are taking that payload. Okay, and we're saying payload plus this. Okay, and this string will be returned back to me if everything works fine. Right? So what is wrong with this? Okay, just a warning. Okay, no problem. Now, this lookup function should go ahead if it is possible to invoke the subflow. And go here, take this hello as an input. This will be an input payload. Okay, to this flow, this payload will get pass on, and this flow will take it as an input, okay, as a payload, and it will try to append the world to that. Clear?
Okay. Okay.
Let's go ahead and save everything and say, so far we have seen the logging, read URL, lookup. Let's go ahead and look at two things now: exception handling and invoking the Java custom code. Okay, so let's execute this, and we confirm that we won't be able to trigger the subflow from our Dataweave. So now tell me, the subflow can be triggered by only flow reference. There is no way to trigger this. But normal flow, if I have HTTP listener in it, I can trigger via flow reference, I can trigger via data view, I can trigger via HTTP requester component. If I don't have the source component, then I can trigger via flow reference, and then I can trigger via data view. But if I have a subflow where there is no source, there is no error handling, then I have only one option to trigger it, flow reference. Okay, clear? Now let's say I got till here. I'll say next activity. It says throwing error. See what it says. Exception executing this expression error it will give. Okay, it says that there is no flow. Okay, basically it's trying to trigger that, but it don't find anything with this name dw-subflow as a flow or private flow. Yeah, there is a subflow, but this lookup function only expect flow or private flow. That's the reason it won't find it, and then it throws the error. Okay. Now, if I go ahead and simply change the code, okay. So if I go ahead and simply change the code and just, instead of this guy, I'll just go ahead here. Okay. Here, and I'll remove this, delete. Okay. And we'll go ahead here and change the code simply. Okay. Just have a look at it. I'll say read. Okay. Save everything. I'm not sure whether it will work. It will go here or not. Just wanted to think. Otherwise, we need to stop and then rerun again. Okay, looks like saved everything. Let me check where it goes. Yeah, it throws error. Yeah, still this guy is looking for that subtone. So we'll stop and just confirm once. Hey, not run. I want debug. Not sure if it's debugging or something else. What's deployed? So if you see the console, still deploying it. So just want to confirm, okay? That's it. Then it's the next activity. It's going there. See? Yeah. So we need to be a little faster. See, we are able to see console now. And under the console, you'll be able to see hello plus world. Clear? So from the Dataweave, we can only trigger subflow or not
subflow. Yeah.
not subflow. Okay, clear? Okay.
Private flow, not subflow.
Yeah. Okay. So now let me go back quickly. Now we'll look at. So now let me close this project because unnecessary I'm getting confused. And I was trying something else and it was there in some other project and we were seeing why it's not working. Okay. So now,
can you send me this project?
Yes, of course. That's the reason we are creating, right? Okay. So let me create a Java class now. So let's say go ahead and create a class under this directory. And my class name, I'll give something else. Okay. So let's say my utils. Okay. And let's go ahead and say create this. Okay. So my utils, it will open it here. And let me add the package. So for example, I'll say, so I'm doing Java coding here now. Okay, so package space, I'll say I'll say my company. Generally, we'll write in all smaller case. Okay, so my company.
I will not understand this because I don't know Java.
Yeah, just wanted to show you very simple code. Okay, it's a human readable. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just say dot utils. Okay, you don't need to worry. Okay, just wanted to, you should know. I'll just say what I'm going to do now. So you will get option here, move utils.java under this package. So now you'll see that. Okay. Why it got created under this? It's supposed to be created under my main Java. It should be here.
Yeah, we can drag and drop it.
Yeah, I have created this file here and it's bringing this package under my mule, which is I don't want. Okay. Okay, it's right position now under this package. I have my utils.java file. So now what I'm going to do here, simple, I say, hey, go ahead and have something like, I'll say public or static. Okay. Static. My keyboard is not following
Stroke
my.
is, yeah, sometimes strokes are not getting perfect.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, so I just wanted to have some random number generator, which will be very helpful while creating passwords. Okay. So if I have something like, password generation, so I'll just say, hey, give me some random number generator. And while creating new, unique file name also, right? I need that. You remember we used the now function to get that.
Yes.
But if you really want it, right, I can go ahead and use a random number generator. So this utility, you can use it in your project. So very simple, okay. So I have random number. I'll say it will give you the option to see create class or import random. So I'll say yes. Go ahead and import it. So if I execute this, I'll be getting every time. I'll be getting new number for this. Okay. So now let's go ahead and try to access this from our data view. Okay. So where is this right now? This is there in my org, my company utils. In this package, this is there. So now if you want to access this, we need to put this same code in our in our data view. So let's go ahead and go to our externalize here, and I'll say, hey, do one thing for me. Okay. So I'll say, go ahead, and I'll just simply drag a transform activity, and I'll rename this flow, rename it dw-invoke Java 4. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead now. First thing we need to do is, hey, go ahead and import that. Okay. So where is that that guy? So whenever you want other than core, right? So core will come automatically. Whenever you want anything else other than that core, I showed you this. So this core will come automatically. This core, we don't need to import it. If I need anything other than that, then we need to go ahead and say import dw : core : arrays. If I want to use count by function, divide by function, all this. So just keep in mind, if you do like this, okay. So just let me show you one example. So now if you say import, okay. Now what you want to import? I want to import Java in exclamatory. This is, I want to import the Java where it is, or my company, again scope operator. Generally double colon is nothing but scope operator. Okay, utils double colon, and now finally what class? My class name is my utils. Hope that is a class name, right? Now this guy will import whatever methods we have there, but I'm interested in a specific method. This will import all the methods from this class. So similarly, in place of this, if I say go ahead here and dw : core : arrays, all the functions will be added over here. But specifically, I want, let's say, this count by function only from this complete,
Correct.
package.
Yeah.
What will happen? I'll just go ahead and say, hey, import. What is the method name? My method name is random number
generator.
Oh, hope the spelling is correct. Random number generator from this. Now, not number. Just let me check. Random number generator. Say spelling mistake. Okay, generator. Okay. Now, if I come back here, save everything. Correct only, right? So now similar way it goes to where the count by from dw : core : arrays. You'll mention like that. Instead of importing all the functions, whichever functions you are interested in, you just go ahead and import it. Clear? Now, if I say, hey, go ahead and just give me the random number generator. So I'll just say random number generator. And I'll try to hit it. Okay. What happened? Unable to resolve reference. What is wrong with this? I just wanted to catch it in some variable. So I'll say random number : save everything, and then let me come back to that guy. Sometimes unnecessary creates a problem. Fine, right? So nothing was wrong. Just confusing me. Okay. Now if I see the preview, you'll be able to see here itself. Okay. Now see. So right now we have selected Java. If I say JSON, it will give me object. Now see. So every time when I say preview, see, it will give me a different number. See.
So it is giving in the okay, negative and positive both.
Yeah, positive also. Okay.
Okay.
So next integer I'm saying that integer can be negative and positive also, right? Accordingly, we can make our code changes. Clear?
Yeah.
So this was a custom code if we have, and let me recap what we have done. So we have looked at basics of Datawave, where we talked about how we can get the input, even how we can define our metadata, and how this metadata helps us to test our Dataweave script during design time itself by looking at the preview. Okay, so if I give the metadata, my script will use that metadata and generates the preview here itself. Then we talked about, okay, I have written this script. If I want to make it reusable, we have externalized to the external file, right? And then we have seen if I wanted to access from my external services, that also we have seen. If I want to trigger the flow, that also we have seen. Now, logging also we have seen. Now I wanted to see, hey, we have written the script. We are able to access all the external, internal, and input payload. We are generating output. But what happens if something goes wrong in my script itself? How to handle it? Okay. So let's look at that now. We'll say exception handling. So now exception handling, what I'm going to show you now. So let's go ahead and let's try to create if I go to my transform, drag it again and rename this flow. We'll rename this flow as DW exception handling. Okay. Okay. Now let's go here. So we'll say, okay, so if you remember, we have files here in the main resources. Yeah, under examples folder, we have employee. Now I'll try to give one more file. So let me bring that file from somewhere, or we'll take it from our let me so I have this CSV file under these examples. Why this guy is getting hanged? Okay, so now we have two files here, okay, under examples folders. So let's go ahead and let's try to do something magic here, okay? So JSON. So JSON can read XML as well as the CSV, right? Okay. Now I'll say, okay, go ahead, boss, and give me. So now I'll just simply say, okay, so read. We have read also, and we have read URL also, okay? And if I have this, I can go ahead and say, hey, go ahead and under examples folder, there is a file called employee.xml. Go ahead and read it, okay? So what is the syntax? We'll say class path, colon, right? /, and then under examples folder. So example folder is a small e, okay? Examples / the file is there, right? Employee.xml. Okay. And then we'll be telling comma what type of data it has. It has application /XML. Okay. So now if I look at the preview, it should give me a proper preview. Right? We are able to see the preview. Now what happens if something goes wrong here? If I give wrong, see exception. Okay. So how to handle this? If this file is not available, can I give something? Can I handle it at my data view level? If these fields give me error, can I give some other option? If I don't go with the exception handling, there is no way. right? If this is wrong, right? If this guy is giving exception, then complete script will be stopped there and it will throw exception. Now, can I handle this properly? Okay, so let's say, hey, if this file is not there, can you try this? So there is a function called try. Inside the try, I'll be having so there will be a anonymous function and it will say go ahead and have this code here. Okay, so in control X. So this is a try block. Okay, if this guy exception, it throws exception. Okay, you can see that unable to resolve reference. Okay, now I am using something which is not there in the core. Okay, so now which package I supposed to trigger here, import here? Import, it comes from runtime. Okay, so
Okay.
star from dw : runtime. Okay, so now error is gone. Now what it says, see the try false and error. What is the error? Invalid location exception. Have a look at it. Message unable to find resource this. See here itself we are able to see the exception, proper exception. Clear? Now how can I give how can I have try catch block kind of stuff? So I'll go ahead and say or else. Hope my syntax is correct. Else try. I'll say, hey, you go ahead and try this. Okay. So instead of Control C, I have one more file. You go ahead and try that file. Okay. So if the employee.xml is not working, so what you can do under examples, I have file called country underscore codes dot csv. Okay. And here I say csv. Examples country. Now you're able to see what happens. This try throws exception. Okay. So it went to the catch
Next
block.
activity.
Okay. Or else try. And now here we found this file. Now we are able to see proper output. If this is also fails, now I want to give say try catch. If this also fails, then I should have something called default. Okay. So that default is nothing but why this guy is extra giving me. Okay, I don't want that, right? Unnecessary is giving me. Okay. Now there is something called or else. Inside the or else, I can give you a meaningful message. Okay, so I can go ahead and say similar pattern. I'll try. And I can give a business specific or some readable message. Okay. So I can say, hey boss, I didn't find the file. Okay. Some can't find file with given locations. Okay. Locations. Hey, I have tried it, but what happened? What is the error? It's saying missing expression. What was that? How come this guy is coming all the way? Okay. Now, if this is wrong, it will come here. If this is also wrong, so if I say here, I made a mistake, remember? Now, finally, it's throwing error, this meaningful error. Okay, if you look at here, it will show you can't find the file with given location. Have a look at it. This exception will thrown back to the whoever is executing this Dataweave script. So we can have our meaningful messages. That's what the intention. Otherwise, if something goes wrong with data, you cannot have your customized message for exception. No way. Okay. So with the try and catch, with the help of this, we can, do the exception handling in Dataweave. Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay.
So if we want to give any specific message, we can just pass through data view, not with the flow, the activity we have seen, right?
Yeah. So outside, if you have to handle it, yes, we can go ahead and handle it at the error handling level here.
Mm-hmm.
But in the data itself, you want to set something, right? Let's say 4 or 5 data views are there. Those are throwing
Okay.
exception, right? Anyway, this activity will throw exception. It will go to error handling only. But now from
Mm-hmm.
this data, we are getting meaningful message. We can see that clearly. Hey, it's the issue for locations. Okay.
Okay.
So then you go error handling. Anyway, in the error handling, we need to handle it. We are not handling it here. We are
Mm-hmm.
setting proper exception message.
Okay.
Right?
No.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at our POCs now. Okay, quickly. Okay, so we have 10 more minutes. I just wanted to show you the POCs quickly. So first POC, what I'll go ahead, I'll actually try to create new project. I'll say this is okay. So I'll say DW POCs. Okay. So first POCs. Okay. So I have a file, the spreadsheet. Okay. So let me show you that spreadsheet, how it looks. Okay. How can I show you that? I think I have that spreadsheet somewhere. My drive. I've created somewhere. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the POCs quickly. Okay. So we have input like this. Okay, so let's first take this one. Since it was loading, so let's look at this. So I am getting the mobile numbers, okay, or this is a contact numbers. This is a country code, and this is the actual number. Okay, so +1 is coming from US, 54 is some other country. Okay, and I want output in this format. Now look at it. So this is the phone, and the country code is this. So based on this code, I need this code. So there has to be some mapping between these two guys somewhere. That mapping also, I got it from my client. So they have given, okay, one is US and 54 somewhere is AR. If I go with India, it's a 91, right? So this kind of mapping, you'll get it. So I got this CSV file, okay? Now what I'll do, I'll put this CSV file. Where did I put this CSV file? So I'll go ahead. First, I'll add that project to my working set. Let's go to our data view. So empty. Rest of the thing, we'll just close it. Unrelated projects, okay? Save and close everything. Okay. Now, first we'll drag the transform activity here. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. First, we'll drag those files in main resources folder. So what file we wanted to have? We wanted to have this input and this file. Copy this, put it in main resources folder. Okay. Hey, somebody's knocking the door. Can you give me 2 minutes? I'll come back. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Are you there,
Yes,
Kunal?
I am here. I am
Okay.
here.
Okay. So we got both the files here, right? And let's take that as a input. So if I go down here, I want output in JSON, right? It's very simple. I want the output in JSON. That's fix. Why it is so slow? I don't know why. How will I write my code, man? Okay. Anyway. Okay. So first, what we'll do? We'll take the what we'll say var1. We'll say country underscore codes in one variable. Okay. So let's go ahead and say we know how to read that, right? So there is something called read URL. We'll go ahead and we'll simply type class. So we'll read that class path :// okay, and country underscore codes dot csv. Okay, so this is what I will get it, and I have to tell, hey boss, go ahead, application /csv. So let's quickly check whether I'm getting those codes or not. So I'll go ahead here in the preview. I'll say country codes. Okay, let's see the preview. It should work quickly. Okay. Yeah, okay. Fast. Okay, so we are getting properly. So okay, this is fine. This is working for. Now, second thing, I'll simply copy and paste, Control-N, Control-C, and Enter, Control-V. And this time we'll say, hey, I'll say I am expecting input as this is my input. So I'll say input.json. Okay, and here we'll say this is JSON, and we'll go ahead here. And for now, I'll create a space. And this one I'll say input. Okay. So instead of writing, instead of input is a internal keyword. So I'll say input request. Okay. So try to avoid using the internal keyword. Okay. Input, output like that. So now if I say input, just want to check whether it's reading or not. Okay. So input request, you are able to see now. Both the things are ready. Now I want to write the my script. Okay. So first, what I'll do, I'll go ahead and say, okay, can you do something? Okay, so how I want the output? Let me quickly show you again. So the output we want like this. So let's try to bring this guy. Okay. So we'll try to first get this output. First thing you should do, very simple. Go ahead and you need to iterate over input, right? So go ahead and say input request. Okay, and say map over this. And what you can do is, okay, so you can say this. So now you see we are getting 2. Now I said the first one is phone double quotes. That means phones, I got it. So structure is ready, comma. Second is what? Second is country code, right? And here I say empty. So my structure is ready. Okay. So now what I want to do? So from the map, what I'll say, hey boss, number it properly. So I'll say item or whatever, item comma index. Okay. And go ahead here. And phone number is definitely from the input. If you look at, right, it's a item only. Now this is Pakka. Now I wanted to get the country code for this part, right? For this part. So 51. So if it is a 51, give me this. If it is a 1, give me this. Like that I need to do. I need to write something. Okay. So what we'll do? So we'll write little code for this. So I'll say, hey, go ahead and do something like this. Okay. So I'll give you item. Okay. And can you give me the country code for that? Okay. So let's go ahead, and if you look at this guy, so if I'll go ahead and say look up country code, okay, and I'll give you the item. Okay. So I'll give you item. Now think about it. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm asking someone, hey, can you do this for me? Okay. So do we have this kind of function? No. So if you look at here, it will ask you to create a function. See, I'm doing a code fix. Go here. Now if you look at my function, okay. So what I'm doing is, so can I do something here itself? So item, if you remember which function we use a function called spiltBy, right? SpiltBy, and I'll say spiltBy. Go ahead here, and in double quotes or single quote, which one you want. Yeah. So it will give an array, and you can go ahead and you can see this one. Okay. So first 54, we'll send it to this guy. Now, can I do something? I'm just telling you how I tried, generally when I write my code. So I have committed everything. So can I say something, hey, country code, if I say 54, okay, so if I say on this country code, if I say map, okay, so we are mapping over, no, basically what I want to try is, let me do this. So basically you want to filter this, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I got a list. I want to filter the list. Okay. And okay, I'll say, hey boss, do one thing for me. You take the from this item and position and do this thing for me. Okay. So if I say item, right now, item dot, what all things are there? There is a what is that calling code, right? So this one, Control C, and I will say, hey, if calling code is double equal to 54 right now, okay, so I'm getting empty. So I'm getting empty. Why I'm getting empty? And so country code, is it expecting string? String, right? Okay. So now can I write something? So I got now. So if somebody sends me 54, I know how to get that. Okay. Now I can say, so there also I'm getting what? I'm getting, if I say from that, if I say 0, if I go ahead and if I say complete this guy home 0, okay. And if I say dot, okay. So if I say in double quotes, what was that?
Country code.
Country code, right? Country underscore code, right?
Mm-hmm.
Country underscore code. Perfect, right? So something like this we need to do. So I need a function which can do this. Okay, so this code has to be there in my function. So let's create a function. Okay, and I'll give a name to that function. So let's say if it takes I'll say, so the function name should be this, right? This one, Control C, Control V here. Okay, and this function will take what? It will take the code, some code. Okay, and for this code, this function will return. So can I say, see here, I told you, right? Variables and functions are almost same, right? What I'm doing here,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say go ahead. Instead of this, I'll write Control C here, Control V here, and instead of the hard coding part, this one, I'll simply say what? Code, right? Now if I comment this part and uncomment this, let's have a look at it. Null. I'm getting null. Let's see what's going wrong. Okay, but almost. So if let me call first. So Control Z, Control Z. Now I'm going to call this function from my code first. Let's see what's going wrong. Okay, and enter Control V. So if I pass 54, I'm getting null. If I pass end, hey, come on, man. 54. This is a problem. Okay. So item split by, and if I say here, I need to, yeah. So this is how you need to fix. Okay. So I'm telling the exact process. I'm not giving you complex solution first. Remember? So we started with this. We are getting null. So what's the problem? This guy is actually treating it as a
string
number, and then it's sending there. So that's the reason we are able
string.
to see. I pass a string. What's wrong? What's wrong with this guy? Okay. So if that is not working, then I have other option. So here I say,
Code as a string.
okay. No, what's wrong with this guy? Split as a string. I'm sending it properly. So it's teaching me null. So I need to look for this first. Okay, so input request. Okay, so let's look at this, what this guy is doing. Okay, so if I Control X, instead of calling function, let's see what this guy is doing. Oh, you're getting what is doing. So this 0th
It is just
element, it's complete array. Okay. So
mm-hmm.
from that array also we need
to parse like
zero. What happening? What's going wrong? Item split by this. Okay. Oh, oh man. Small mistakes. This guy is actually array, and then go and have 0th element from there. You're getting it? Now, this is the 0th element. Now you go ahead and call this function on this guy and have a look at it. And see. Perfect, right?
Yes.
You got it, right? So now whatever learning we did, right, that's what we are applying here. Now, don't you think this is kind of best use case where we do in actual world, right?
Yep.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll keep this as it is. I'll jump on to the one more use case quickly. Okay. Because I wanted to close this off so that give me 5 more minutes. Okay.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. So now I have something called this one. Okay. So let me show you first. I am looking for, so I got a data in XLS file. I want to convert into a JSON or CSV. Okay, so I got a spreadsheet. Okay, so let me show you how that spreadsheet look like. So I can open it in somewhere else, and I can show you. I will drag it here because I don't have Microsoft Office. I can make use of Google spreadsheet. Okay, so I think it's already there somewhere here. Or yeah, it's there. So you open it. This is how it looks. Okay, so there is a spreadsheet, and name of that spreadsheet is data. Okay, this is how it looks. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll go ahead and we'll again same funda. We'll try to pull it here. So let's copy that file. Copy it, bring it here, and paste it. Now, how to read XLS in Dataweave? Okay, let's have a look at it. Okay, so this is CSV, right? Let me rename properly. Okay, so this was what is that?
Java.
DW, not Java. This is CSV, right?
CSV, yeah.
CSV. Okay. Now let me drag other one. This one we'll read it as
Excellent.
XLS. XLS. XLX, like that. Okay, so I want this type of stuff over there. So I'll just go ahead and I'll copy this so that I don't want to type that all again. Control V, and we'll get we have application XLSX. Yes. Hope that is extension correctly I'm writing. XLSS. Okay. And rename. Control A, Control C. Go here and just place it here. Control V. Okay. And yeah, let's try to see the output. Okay, what happens here? So if I say country, I need to change the name. Okay, so we'll say or box. Okay. Now let's try to print it in JSON. What we get. Okay, so or box. Okay, let's see the preview. What happens now? What we are getting. Okay, there's a better way of looking at the data. Now see, my XLS we are able to see now. In what part we are interested? All the sheets will be having here. Okay, so let's say right now in my XLS I have only what? I have only one sheet. Now all these sheets will be having number of records. Now see how it looks. Data. So we are getting object. Inside that, all the spreadsheet will be there. Okay, so this is how we need to understand, right? So simply if I write directly, if I write or the box.data, you won't understand. Okay. So you will get an object. Inside that object, there will be a key and value. Key will be representing the spreadsheet. Okay, and the value will be representing the content of that spreadsheet, and that will be there in array format. So now if I simply say go ahead and have a data over here, right? Data. Okay, so I'm getting this, and I can go ahead and simply convert this into CSV file. CSV. See, we are getting data properly. Okay. Clear? Now, if you're really interested looking at something, specific. So for example, I wanted to look at where the, assignee is, Fred M or someone. Okay. So there is a column called assignee. We'll go at JSON quickly. and you wanted to see JSON. My keyboard is not responding to it. Okay. So let's say there is a assignee, and if this guy give me all the bugs, okay, kind of stuff. So we'll map over here, okay, and we'll filter, right? So we'll filter on all the records, okay. And so if you see, I got a data right now. I'll simply use a function called filter, and inside that, I'll try to write, okay. So each bug, okay, bug, comma, index. Okay, so everything is a bug. I mean, each record is a bug, right there. And I'll say boss bug dot, okay, bug dot assignee, okay.
Okay.
Assignee, right? So it has to be a capital. The better way, it's go ahead and copy here. If double equal to a value, also from there only we'll pick it. Okay, so if this is the case, or I'll say instead of that, we'll see this guy, okay? Because I think assigning everybody is only same, so I won't be able to see the difference between output, okay? Other than that, we'll say reporter, and reporter is this guy. Then go ahead and say Control V, and I'll complete this. Now see, only one record. Now this kind of script we need to write, right? So on your UI, you'll be able to see, okay, if I select who reporter is equal to this, then my UI should get refreshed with only this record. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
Clear? Now let me quickly go one more POC I wanted to show, which is simple one, but very useful one, okay? So pick the top elements. Okay, so I have input JSON. These are the, now this again very useful, okay? So I have only 3 positions available. I got around 1,000 applications. Now from that applications, I need to see whoever have, maximum score, sort them and give me top 3 candidates, right? Useful, correct?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead quickly, copy this, copy, and paste it in our, again, save everything, okay? Save, very important. Go here and paste it. All right. What did I copy? Oh, input.json. Okay. No. Don't overwrite. Okay, so I need to rename that basically. Yeah, go ahead. Input.json I can't give, right? So I'll just say -01. Now copy this, come here, paste it. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and we'll copy this one, Control C. Now we'll drag our transform activity here and say Control A, Control V. I don't need this. Now what is wrong with this guy? That's a little throwing error. Okay. So I have now input 01, right? -01. Now I can go ahead and quickly look at the preview. I'll say I was getting empty. Now say Control C whether I'm able to read it properly or not. Yes, I got it. Okay. So now let's go ahead and have a look at it. Okay. So if you look at the elements, right? So elements are, where are the candidates? So dot, right? We can use a dot, and my array is where here. Okay, so dot, I'll say candidate. Where is my cursor? Candidates, right? Why it is not giving autocomplete dot? It should give me, I don't know why. Okay. Control V, okay. So now I'm getting all the candidates. Now I want to sort on the basis of what? Score, right? So what I say, go ahead and order by score. Okay, so I'll say go ahead and order by score. So go down and I'll say I have a function called order by order by. Okay, and so basically I'm getting list of elements. Now I need to say order by score. Okay, so that is nothing but, so I got this. So what will represent each record? Dollar, right? Dollar dot, like, can I say score? Now you see, so 35, 40, 55 and 96 and okay, so we got the score, right? Now if I want to reverse it, right, you remember how to reverse? Simply say minus, right? We got the reverse. Now you can say from top, how you will do it? 0 to, right, 0 to 0 to, now whatever available positions are there. So now we are already crossed this. So anyway, we need top 3. So we'll 0 to, what happened? Okay, so I need to go ahead and complete this and then I need to tell. See here, only top 4. So you need to give this number. Okay, so if I say 2, top 3. Clear? What I have done, I went to this, list of candidates. Based on their score, I have ordered them in descending order, and then I took 0 to 3 from the top. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So why you put comma before input request, and how you decide that?
Comma means what? No. This is round bracket, right?
Yeah, round bracket. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I don't give round bracket here, right? So it's actually treating what? It's on order by, and then it's treating this square bracket, and then this is applying on this order by.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to apply that on order by. I want you to get all the output from here first, and then apply on that, because output of this is output of this what? Array, right? And then
Yes.
on this array, I want to apply this indexing.
Okay.
So first go and get the array, then order them, okay? And then apply this, because this basically the output of this, I want square bracket and then the int.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, save everything. So that's all from this session. Okay. And
Okay.
yeah.
So if you want to send me this project,